You're probably thinking, what in the world is Serve 2024? Well, let me start off with a quote by Henry David. It's not what you are looking at, but what you see. My personal vision statement is and always was uniting faith and business, passion in all that I do. I grew up seeing the business world and the faith world in separate places. I would hear things like, business is business, or keep church out of it, or business is for sharks, there's no room for you there. I truly believe it was wrong. Your faith should be evident wherever you go. As I read in the Bible, I see it full of leaders, full of businessmen. I see a revival coming, and I believe it's going to happen in the marketplace. Serve 2024. As a young man, I was reading these passages in the Bible, and they always intrigued me about the sabbatical year. And I would see how God would give us a wonderful example of rest, showing us that after creation, He would take a day and rest on the seventh day and enjoy all that He has made. And then I would read how God would tell His people to do a Sabbath, a time of rest, a time of reflection, a time of fellowship. I would read verses from the Bible, like for instance, Leviticus. It says, for the 6 years sow your fields, and for 6 years prune your vineyards, and gather the crops. But in the 7th year, the land is to have a year of Sabbath rest, a Sabbath to the Lord. Do not sow your fields or prune your vineyards. And then God would say, follow my decrees and be careful to obey my laws, and you will live safely on the land, and the land will yield its fruits, and you will eat your fill and live there safely. Wow. God knows our needs. He's the one that created us. I was intrigued as a young entrepreneur, and I said to the Lord, if you ever make me a business owner, I would love to try this out. I remember clearly asking Him to give me wisdom on how and when to do it. Roughly 10 years later, the birth of Nexen Construction. A desire to see a generation to rise up and take the lead. A desire to see a generation to lead up leaders that they could serve their community with their God-given talents. Not long after that, I clearly, knowing deeply, I don't know if anybody had God speak to you, but it's just, you know that you know that you know. He said, this is the time to do it. And I knew it was time to implement Serve 2024. To take a sabbatical year for the entire year. It was scary and exciting at the same time. It was much easier to envision it when I didn't have a business 10 years ago. And the first day I was sharing the plan. I clearly remember someone saying that if you go with this, being in construction, you're going to lose all your general contractors. But then I remember Vitaly Glishak replying. He said, but we'll gain the community. And after those words, I made a decision to implement Serve 2024. Our concern was, how are we going to survive in that year? But if we keep on reading, in verse 20 it says, you may ask, interesting enough, what shall we eat in the 7th year if we do not plant or harvest our crops? Same question we had, but our question was, what can we eat, or what will we eat if we don't build or remodel? Now here is where faith comes in. Let's read what God promises the year before the sabbatical year. Verse 21. I will send you such a blessing in the 6th year that the land will yield enough for 3 years. While you plant during the 8th year, which is the year after the sabbatical year, you will eat from the old crop and continue to eat from it until the harvest of the 9th year comes in. Wow, God the Creator made that promise. These are encouraging words to me, and especially when I encounter critics who say we're crazy. We are taking it by faith, but along the way, we're encouraged by other business owners who decide to take a sabbatical month every 7 months, and others who decided to take a 7th sabbatical week. And we all know Chick-fil-A, who decided not to work on the 7th day. And these companies are doing quite well. I am not surprised. Everyone, listen to me carefully. When Jesus came and said, He is the Lord of the Sabbath, He meant that we'll find our rest in Him. Sabbath is a benefit to us. I see it as a wonderful fatherly advice, and I'm excited to do it. I believe we need this in the marketplace. Now more than ever. We are extremely busy, and anxiety is at its all-time high. We need Jesus back in the marketplace, and then we will have true rest. Then the question I had was, what are we going to do during the sabbatical year? Well, whatever the land produced during that time, they would basically share it with their community. They wouldn't pick it, they just let it come down naturally, and they would invite others who are in their families and in their communities and share it, allowing their community to enjoy what was built. During 2024, we will focus on family and spend lots of time with them. Focus on community and those less fortunate. We will have leadership workshops, just to name a few. We will serve in any way we can. And yes, every employee will be on a salary basis during 2024. I know the employees like that. We will provide free labor in the community where it's needed. And we need support from partners like you for materials and for other aid. We want everybody to be involved, especially churches and businessmen. Towards the end of 2024, we will have a year of celebration to re-energize us for the next 6 years and to let everybody know in whose name is our hope and in whose name we do what we do, the name of Jesus.